What's going on, everyone? So Victor Wembanyama had himself a remarkable first season in the league. He was truly spectacular and was awarded as such by getting the Rookie of the Year award yesterday. It was officially announced, and again, much deserving. Now, San Antonio is going to go into this offseason, right? Victor, he's going to continue to work on his game, hone his craft. Just so excited for the future of Victor Wembanyama. I mean, seriously, like what he was able to do this season is remarkable. And it's his first year. He's only going to get better at grasping and understanding the game from an NBA level. He's going to get better with his timing, his discipline. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get better with just like his grown man body and just natural instincts, right? He's going to get a better feel on like when to push and when not, right? He's just out there just hooping, right? He's a guy that's just out there and happy to be there and just playing on just natural raw talent and gifts. Wait till he really starts to be able to dissect defenses and understand, okay, like, these are my spots. I can get here with ease, and these guys can't stop me, rather than having a fight constantly, right? And then just flushing out the roster. Now, before we get into the roster side of things, I did think Greg Popovich, one, is the perfect coach for Victor Wembanyama and his success, right? I also think the Spurs is an excellent organization for Victor Wembanyama and his success also, because talk about a guy that he's going to an organization that is familiar with, these foreign players, was kind of like the first, or one of the first organizations to really ride that wave heavily. Right? I mean, there's always been foreign guys, but like really ride that wave and essentially build dynasties off of those guys, right? Like, yeah, that, but also an organization that's more than happy and more than comfortable with wanting to win and building success and having that dynasty. They're an organization that isn't happy with just getting to the playoffs or, making it to the second round. No, they want championships. They are an organization that is known to build dynasties, and now they have their piece to potentially do that. We'll see how the draft goes, right? Maybe potentially draft Victor Wembanyama's running mate because I'm not really sold on anybody that's on their roster currently. Like Vassell and Johnson and guys like that. Like, I don't really see them as like the second guy alongside Victor. I think that they, at best, are like your third guy, particularly Johnson. I would actually look personally, this is just me, personally look to move Vassell and then kind of keep Johnson around and see if maybe, you can he can fit in whatever direction and roster you were constructing. But they got to start putting the pieces together to better maximize Victor Wembanyama. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you have to be a contender tomorrow, right? You have to go win an NBA championship. No, nothing like that. I don't mean anything by that stretch. But you want to start kind of laying the groundwork and laying the foundation. You got your cornerstone, right? You clearly have some serious needs that you need to address. And if you can start molding this team and to where in the next 2-3 years, now maybe you're jumping into contention status. That's what I mean. Luckily, Victor is incredibly young. You can spend this next 2-3 years to really kind of flush out and round out the roster to your liking to a point to where now, okay, here we go. He's arrived. Let's go win some chips. But ideally, right, you want guys that actually recognize that Victor Wembanyama's on the basketball court. Like, that's a big problem with this Spurs team this year, to the point where it was incredibly frustrating. And look, I'm not a San Antonio fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I can recognize like the frustrations. And if you're a San Antonio fan, you're probably even more frustrated than I am. That it's like there are times, like regularly, like almost every game, where Victor at times is like wide open or he has clear establishment on a mismatch. And like everyone on the court is just completely ignoring him. Like he's not even there. Like he doesn't even exist. And it's like he's the biggest mismatch in the league. Like, what are we doing here? Get him the basketball. Right? And, and like I understand, and I've even seen frustrations like, why doesn't Greg, why doesn't Pop correct this? Why doesn't he go and have the guys recognize it? I talked about this before. Like, I thought Greg Popovich handled this seamlessly. Right? Kind of just like guys play, trying to get a feel for guys, right? On top of, trying to get a feel for guys and seeing like, okay, which pieces do I want kind of around him, which guys look good, and start kind of just taking inventory in his brain, he did a couple things specifically with Victor Wembanyama, right? One, he masked him, especially early in the season. A lot of questions like, why is he only playing like 20 minutes? Why is he playing like 17 minutes, right? Like, shouldn't he be playing 35, 40 minutes? But then you saw as the season progressed, he started ramping up. And he starts playing the 30 to 36 minutes, stuff like that. Why? Because early on, Victor's coming in. There's all this hype, all this expectation. He's going to be the greatest player in NBA history. He's the reason, God created him to end the Jordan and LeBron debate, right? Like, you heard all these just outlandish, crazy things for a kid that's coming into the league, which I've said it before, like, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, let these kids develop, let them play. But nonetheless, that just comes with the territory, right? And Greg Popovich understands and knows, like, they're hoping that they can go and go, look, he's not an alien, trash, right? Like, so what did Greg do? He slowly worked him in, because when you first get in the league, you're trying to get your bearings, you're trying to understand, trying to get accustomed to the pace, and you're trying to understand, like, just defensive sets and sequences, right? Like, you're learning on the fly, right? But if you play him 35 to 40 minutes a game, one, you're running the risk of injury. Two, you're exposing him more to opportunities to where he starts to look bad or has those blunders or has those bad moments, right? But it's just like role guys, right? If you keep him in a small, and I'm not saying Victor's a role guy. He's clearly going to be a superstar. But I'm saying, like, you think of role guys, play them in small doses, they're great. They're successful, right? You have all this success, right? It's like, man, that guy dropped 15 in 10 minutes. Like, wow, right? But then if you play that guy 35 minutes, it's like, all right, this guy isn't very good, right? And again, I'm not saying Victor is that, but what I'm saying is that coming in as a rookie, players are going after him, people are targeting him. In limited sample size, all you talk about and all you see are the highlights. All you talk about and all you see are just the crazy, spectacular, never before seen moments. Right? But if you start playing him more and he gets more and more exposed, now that stuff starts to diminish a little bit. Yeah, it's still talked about, but now there's this other layer where people are going, yeah, 7 turnovers. He's not that guy, and you start painting this narrative where Pop really started. And then once he got comfortable, once he got the feel, all of a sudden you push him and extend him 35 minutes. And now he elevates. And now you don't have to worry about that. Like, if I play him 35 minutes, you're going to start seeing some of those exposures. So I thought that was brilliant. And I also think another big thing is why Greg Popovich kind of let the team ignore Victor and stuff like that at times. Because you got to think, it's Greg Pop. You talk about one of, if not the greatest coaches ever. Right? Like, if we recognize it, he recognizes it. So why does he let the team just completely ignore Victor? Well, again, if you're trying to mask Victor and you're trying to keep him, confidence high and out of the media's negative spotlight, how do you do that? Okay, well, what you do is you have Victor basically be neutralized out there because of the team. And what's the conversation? People like myself, people like ESPN, people like so on and so forth are all like, man, the players really need to find him. He's wide open here. He's wide open over here. He's doing this here. He's doing that there. And they're just not right? You change the conversation. You change the narrative around Victor Wembanyama to where it's not him, it's everyone else, right? Those are the kind of things that I thought Pop did brilliant. But they got to get a point guard. Got to get a point guard, right? You got to get somebody that can put Victor in proper positions and set him up nicely, for one. Two, I think you got to find complementary pieces, maybe even like a legit starting caliber center for now. I think you want to kind of I think Victor being at the 4 as like the help defender and also kind of as just that other big, and then kind of allow him to kind of be versatile, I think is probably the best approach. And even Greg Popovich has talked about this, right? And just his frame and stuff, you'd probably be best to protect him at the 4. And his size and length, I mean, just imagine him as like the help defender. Stop. Like, he could literally just be like, he could stand, baseline extended and just basically block the corner three and at the rim and just never move from his spot. I mean, it's crazy. But no, I definitely think that they need to start molding and putting some pieces properly around Victor. But like I said, that'll come. That'll come with time. But I'd like to see them start making those steps, making those directions going forward. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Best question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts of Victor Wembanyama this season? Were you impressed by him? Were you not so much? Do you think he has star potential? Do you think he'll be one of the top players in the league? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you don't like this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.